if I'm gonna throw a top water in the fall, I usually throw something clear, whether it's either a gunfish or a sexy dog or a Berkeley makes one jaywalker. But if I'm throwing a top water bait, I'm going some form of clear. It's they've been beat on all summer. I have started throwing the underspin a little bit, getting and keeping it up really really high in the water column.
Right.
But for me, honestly, it seems like if I'm gonna get bit on something on top later in the year, the fluke seems to be the best. I know, like the other day on Alatoona, they would not touch a top water bait, clear bone, chrome, nothing, but they would eat the fluke. It just seems like it's a little more natural than, and looks like more than what they're eating than this big pump, pump, pump walking bait that's coming across the top.
Yeah. Now, Rick's got a comment right there, and I know this is the thing they're going to, because I've got them already pre-ordered for the store. Zoom's coming out with the winged fluke, trying to get that shimmy and that shake as you slow reel it and all that.
Depths has had that for a minute now. What is it? The Samakata shad?
Sashimi shad or something?
No.
The sashimi's a spro.
No, that is a kind of like a Seville style.
Yeah, but have you seen the new flukes?
Yes.
I've got them pre-ordered. When they show up, I don't know. But
I know what you're talking about because some of my buddies catch them on at Guntersville.
Yeah, the Samakata shad.
Listen to y'all trying to pronounce these Japanese.
It's a Japanese deal. I mean, that's what it is. I mean,
a lot of things are these days.
A lot of our Japanese lure introductions coming over here because of pressured fish, because that's all they do over there is fish for pressured fish. So
that is true.
Yep, we adopt everything that they're doing over here now, and it's we're basically becoming pressured fish. You're gonna have to learn how to fish.
Think about that. They're on an island and they got all them guys fishing. They ain't but X amount of lakes on Japan, so they ain't got a lot. But what do you think about that idea as far as the winged fluke?
I don't know.
I haven't seen it in action, of course.
Well, we haven't seen on the Heron Lake either.
I have seen that bait outfish a regular fluke before, and I'll tell you who I was fishing with when I seen it. And you got his shirt right over there.
Beasley?
Beasley. I was fishing with Beasley. Beasley pulled out this thing. I'm throwing a fluke, and he pulls out this thing, and I'm like, man, what the heck? It's like the first time I ever seen him. I hadn't, I'm pretty old school on a lot of the stuff I use, but he was catching them 3-to-1 on that thing.
The Sakamatsu? If that's the way Joshua says
however you say it.
Sakamatsu.
However you say it.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Beasley, I'll be damned.
Yep. He was throwing that thing, and dude, they were like, it was still relatively new. I know I hadn't seen them before.
Well, how was the action different? What was it doing?
It was kind of had like a different kind of rock. He was fishing it. When he throw it up there, he was just like really, really, really slow.
So not a lot of rod action,
and it would just kind of rock back and forth like this. And dude, that particular day, they were killing that dang thing.
And I guess,
and I'm sitting over there, pull it, burn it, pull it, burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, burn it, kill it, burn it, kill it, pull it, pop it.
And Beasley's just
sitting there catching the crap out of them on that thing.
I'd never heard of that. Now listen, Beasley, when he would come up here, he'd tell us a lot of things, but he wouldn't tell us everything.
Yeah,
that might have been one he kept in his.
That might have been one that
kept in that.
But yeah, I have seen that particular style of lure outfish a regular fluke.
Well, guys, when they come in, we'll have them here at Fish North Georgia. I'm sure your Hammonds and all those, they'll have them as well. I ordered some of every color, so we'll see. Jonathan Carter, do you think there are less or more brush piles being put out nowadays with LiveScope, making it easier for people to find them in such a short amount of time? Do you think guys are still dropping brush at the rate that they used to?
I do not think that they are. And I think LiveScope's got a lot to do with that. I think, and I'm not going to name no names, but I think a lot of our old school guys that used to fish a lot, I think they've lost interest in it, because at one point, they had the brush game to themselves.
That's true. Yeah.
They had the brush game to themselves. And, now you don't hear as much about it anymore. It's kind of old news. But, I mean, we had some better rivalries over brush piles,
good
dude.
Lord.
But you don't really hear about people, man, get out, man, I put this brush pile out, and they daggum people over there fishing it. And then, I went over there. Yeah, I mean, you don't hear that as much anymore. Do people still put out brush? Yeah, because you're still finding fresh brush, but it's not like it has been. And now the other thing you got to think about too, this year we don't have a BFL coming to the lake this year. Last year, man, and the year before. And they had the super tournament.
Mhm.
Last year they had the super tournament, and then the year before they had the super tournament there too, didn't they? I don't think I fished that one. I think I missed that year, but last year I fished that one. But when you got these big tournaments coming, your brush guys are putting it out.
Yeah.
They're going to put out brush regardless of any kind of, anything that you can do to give you an advantage. You put out a green brush pile, you got an advantage.
Yeah.
You know where it's at. Regardless if other people find it or not, you've got a place to go where hey, there's a green brush pile that I'm
Just for that tournament, if nothing
just
else.
for that tournament, if that's the only reason you put it out there.
What's the big difference between a green brush pile and a regular brush pile?
Fresh. Green being fresh,
Well,
right?
All right, you can go down a rabbit hole with this.
Okay, here we go.
Well, let's
All right,
go.
So
Because I never understood it.
I don't know for how long it will last, but when you first put it out, it'll bring a little bit more O2 oxygen around it. You also got the bugs and stuff that come off the brush. It attracts the bait fish. Of course, the little bit of added O2. Now, I ain't tested the water or nothing, but we know that vegetation, green stuff will add a little bit of O2 to the water. But and green brush makes a better canopy. It makes a better canopy.
Still has the leaves on it and stuff.
It makes a better canopy. It's, you got this stick over here that's halfway rotten and petrified. Does a bass like to be on that? Yeah, if he doesn't have anything else available to get on, a bass is going to get on the best available cover. So if you take a green leaf brush pile and you drop it out there next to this stick, guess where all your fish are going?
Yeah.
They're going to go over there
And the
get on
bait's
the
over there.
best available cover,
Yeah.
and they're going to sit on it.
Makes sense. That makes sense. But you think because of forward-facing sonar, either it's not being talked about as much or it's not being done as much.
I don't think it's being done as much, to be honest with you.
What about Gunnersville? Do they drop a lot of brush on Gunnersville? You don't really need it over there as
There's
much, do you?
some, but the other thing with Gunnersville you got to watch for is you got to watch for current. You can drop a pretty brush pile out there on that river. They start running 100,000 through there. Your brush pile's
It's gone. It's downstream
Yeah,
about
that-
a half a mile.
Got to
Honestly,
use them
there's
big rocks.
Yeah, I
up
get
there
that.
is like one of the big keys up there for a lot of these guys is like stump flats. You get out there and it'll be 20 foot of 15, 20 foot of water, but it'll have scattered stumps on there,
Which is that cover.
which is covered, like I said, other than say that grass or shale bar.
Okay, all right.
what
Makes,
they got
it's always interesting to see the differences in
Yeah.
the lakes. Ethan Simpson, how you doing tonight, buddy? What is your rod and reel setup for burning underspins? And hey, can you go back up? I didn't get the second half of that question right there. Are you using a faster gear ratio to make that bait rise faster? And hey, and Blake, you can pull them up tonight. I can see we don't have Kevin in here, so he ain't as blowed up.
So you want me to pull them up?
You can pull them up,
Okay.
yeah, if you want to.
So you got a lot of stuff going on with that underspinning deal. You got your line size. If you use, just like with cranking, for years cranking, you want to get away with the smallest diameter line that you can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Your crankbait will get down there deeper. Same thing with that underspin. I try to keep it at 10-pound test. Do I lose fit? Yeah, sometimes I lose them. I'll lose them in the timber. I'll get broke off from time to time. But if you use 15-pound test, you're not going to keep that bait down there you're not going to get it down there as fast. A lot of people I fish with, they'll come out there and they'll be like, man, why is yours sinking? Yours seems to be sinking like twice as fast as mine. What pound test line you got on yours?
17.
Oh, well, I got 15-pound test.
Right.
Well, I've got 10. So, yeah, it's gonna sink faster on that lighter line. And then in the same way, the crankbait gets down there deeper on lighter line than it does on heavier line. It's the same deal. The line cuts through the water, it'll sink a little faster.